Peace, family. Eric here, just playing around in the nursery here in Southern Maryland, and I'm using this super easy technique that worked well enough last year, and I thought it would be worthwhile to share it with everybody out there so you can see how easy it is to grow a lot of fruit and nut trees. I know this works especially well with chestnuts, and that's what we're working with today. So basically, I've just got 5-gallon buckets here that I go and pick up from the grocery store pastry section. Ask them if they've got any old icing buckets and all that like crazy electric blue and bright yellow scary frostings at the grocery store that you see on the birthday cakes. That all comes in these buckets, and so I get those for free, and then I drill some holes in the bottom of them, and I put together a little soil mix, usually just working with whatever I've got. I had some leftover Pro Mix from earlier nursery projects this year, and then a little bit of sawdust and some of this crab compost. And I put the sawdust in there just to balance out the alkalinity of the crab compost, because that's a very alkaline kind of soil amendment. But basically that's about it. I just put together the soil mix, and then here's the chestnuts that I gathered earlier this year. These are from a very special tree that I found a couple years ago, and they're all 20+ gram chestnuts. So this is kind of an adaptation on a technique that I learned from Akiva Silver. He was doing this up there at Twisted Tree Nursery. I highly recommend looking him up if you're into this kind of thing. So he was stratifying his chestnuts in a bucket system like this, and then just buried the buckets over the winter, and then he pulls them out and takes the germinated chestnuts and puts them in a bed. What I did last year, just out of sheer laziness, is I left them to grow because I was damaging the taproot so much by the time I got back from Florida that it was unsettling to me. So I just went ahead and left them in there, and they did okay. So this year I'm just doing one layer on top, spacing them a few inches apart, and they'll be able to grow in this for all of next year, and then they can get planted out the following year. So the only thing I'm gonna do to prepare these for winter is put the lid onto this bucket and then set it on a bed of mulch and surround it with mulch to keep it well drained but also moisture retentive. And then when I come back in the spring, I'll take this lid off and just put an old refrigerator rack over top of it with a couple bricks, so that squirrels and animals don't get into the newly sprouted chestnuts, because they will. Oh, they will. They're evil. They're full-time foragers. They're not evil, they're just hungry, and they're pro foragers, and our chestnut trees look like a quick meal to them. So gotta protect them. But other than that, super easy. Get out there and grow some chestnut trees.